Welcome everybody. A good evening to all of you, and it's a pleasure to have an Education Street. Will definitely make it a point that we make it a very worthy hour, because that's exactly what you all want, and we want to impart the same thing. So today's session is on Decode Masters in Civil Engineering and Construction Management, and that's exactly what we are going to roll out, and we are going to do it right away. So as me being the host, I would quickly try to introduce myself, because I understand that you have a lot of people and choices in the market to make, and hence I want to give a understanding of how I am and who I am as a counselor for today. So basically, I am the founder of Education Street, which I started in 2010. I'm an engineer myself, an IT engineer. Post that, I worked as a software engineer with Tech Mahindra. Then I did my MBA in University of Leeds, UK. I was recruited by British Petroleum in London, and I worked in London for a year and a half. After my stay in UK for 4 years, I returned back in 2010. I left my job and I started my own venture, that is Education Street, and that's exactly how I've been serving, mentoring, guiding students for last 10 years. So it's been a decade, and it's been a wonderful journey, because I think I cannot do anything better. So saying this, personally, I'm a mother to a 3-year-old daughter now, and I'm a wife to a very strong, hustling businessman and a husband. So that's how about me. And I'm completely fixated with meditation, self-help, and reading and traveling. Definitely, I've almost traveled to 28 countries so far. So most of the countries that we suggest, a lot of those universities, I've been there personally as well. So that's been my journey, and that's how I'm going to host you today for today's session. The agenda for today is very crisp and clear, which I'm going to finish in another 40-45 minutes. The agenda is to talk about MS in Civil and Construction Management, what they are about, what are the course curriculum, what are the electives and specialization. Then the application material to apply to US, the university selection, how you should go about, the credit system in US, because a lot of you may not be aware about how the grading systems happen in US when you go for masters. So we want to throw some light on that. Apart from that, US education cost and return of investment, because I think most of you do not have a complete picture about how the cost goes and actually when and how you return it. So I am going to do a complete maths right in front of you to understand that how and when you can remove your cost back. And then the job trends in civil and construction management, the salaries, and what are the future trends in these both areas. So this is the journey today, and let's start without wasting a minute for the same. Now, first and foremost thing I want to start is about why MS in US. Okay, masters, there are a lot of options which a student has, but US, we all agree, it's been a big daddy, and it's always been a proven country where people get their dreams fulfilled. Dream of a good university, good education, being there, staying there, even if there's no green card, but still people stay there on H1B and stuff for almost good 10 to 15 years. And that's how the stories have been around us. May it be our seniors, may it be our cousins, and there have been so many people who have done it. But why are they going? These are the top-notch reason why you should agree that why US is suitable for you. So first and foremost, it focuses on quality. That means the education over there is very limited and advanced courses. It's not that when you go for masters, you will have 100 subjects to study. No. In fact, you would be surprised you have only 10 to 12 subjects to cater in 2 years. So the focus is very much on quality and what you want to do. Top tech companies invest in your education, and that's why everybody says US education is very practical. You learn a lot, you understand the concept, because the technology companies over there research and take part in creating the curriculum. So that's how the universities are so well practically oriented and industry focused. That's why they make you very skillful. Okay. Then the third thing which we all understand and all of us have heard about, that there are enough opportunities in US to get a good job, a good salary, a good challenging role to work upon. And that's exactly why not. It's a superpower. So we agree there are huge amount of jobs, there are huge amount of career success stories. Okay, so that's how US plays role. And then of course the freedom, the fourth point I would call as freedom, because you get a beautiful program which you can carve on your own. So if you're going for civil engineering, you will only have one or two core subject, rest all is going to be your electives. What, how, I'm just going to explain in my next few slides. So now let's start with choosing your major. So that's exactly why you're attending this webinar, and this has been an entire webinar series which we have been conducting by Education Street, because Education Street believes, and we have realized, almost 40% of students go for wrong major of their masters. They just follow what is trending, or they just follow what the seniors did it, and they never question what they have to do. And that's exactly why we want to do that to you. And the good four things that you have to do before you select your major, whether you should go for civil or construction management, are these four questions. What you are good at. Are you good to do this for next 5 years? We are not looking for lifetime, because no one does the same thing for lifetime. Okay, so good doing this for next 5 years. Do not follow what is trending. Okay, someone told me that this is the trend, so I should do this. No, please don't do that. That it may be trending, it may be something which is very, very interesting for others, but it may not be for you. So please choose and research over it. Whatever you have heard about, research about it. Now what happens is, there are so many forums which provide you so many information, but unfortunately these informations are not vetted and they are one-sided. Now that's exactly why you need a counselor who can assist you evaluate your profile and circumstances, to make you understand what are the pros and cons for the same. So now coming to it, you have two types of masters when you go to US. Okay, so one masters is masters in science, which is called as MS, which is with thesis. That means every masters are 4 semesters, 2 years. For every semester 6 months. So the last semester in MS degree is a project or a research or thesis. So that's exactly what an MS degree consists. Whereas there are a lot of masters in engineering, typically a lot of programs of construction management could be a master in engineering or a master's in professional engineering, where they're without thesis. So even both the degrees are viable to go in, but if you think that you want to go for a PhD, then you should go for an only MS program. I hope I'm able to distinguish these two. There are a lot of myths where people do figure out what they want to do, but then they are confused with the university selection, because they have these two different names. One may be MS, one may be M engineering. Do not worry, you go and research about the curriculum. Okay, that is what is very, very important when you select the university and the course. Again, it is very important to choose the right helping hand and a mentor in your counselor, because they are well expertised to do this. Now coming to the course syllabus. So when it comes to US, there are 12 to 15 subjects that you have to study in each year. Sorry, for the entire masters. The beauty of US is, as I said, you have freedom. So a lot of people must have told you that you decide your curriculum. So that's exactly what the truth is. You only have 2 or 3 core subjects out of the 12 to 15. Rest all are electives. That means you decide what you want to take your course into, and that's how your course becomes specialized for you. So this is how the concept of civil engineering will come if I have to explain you what are the electives for civil engineering. So when it comes to core subjects, 2 or 3 of these subjects may be core, rest all would be electives. Okay, so design of steel structures, IT and CAD applications, soil mechanics and foundation engineering, design of RC structures, water resources, structural analysis, water and wastewater engineering, solid mechanics, hydraulics, transportation engineering, mathematics, basic electronics, electrical technology, mechanics, physics, programming and data structure, engineering, drawing, and graphics. So these may be, some of them would be core subjects. Again, to remind all of you who join later on, at any point of time, if you take a snapshot of this webinar and tag us at Education Street on Insta. My team is going to DM you a surprise element. So do that at any point of time, because you definitely have a surprise to get from us. Okay. But this one step will only get you closer to unveil that. So do take a snapshot and get the surprise from us. So these are the core subjects in civil engineering. Now coming to electives and specialization in civil. So those were only core subjects. There are a lot of specializations which you can do with civil engineering. So that could be construction engineering, transportation engineering, urban and sustainable designs, water resources engineering, structural, materials, geotechnical, environmental, bridge making. Environmental, sustainable design, urban design is one of the most happening area, because we have seen that now the future lies in sustainable designs. I'm going to cover that by the end of the session. I have few reports from McKinsey as well to show you, to make you realize that how civil engineering is important and how fast it is changing. Okay, so this is how construction engineering and all these could be your specialization. So one is you go for MS in construction management after civil engineering, or you go for civil engineering and specialize into construction. Either way, both is possible. So if you're someone who's from core civil engineering, who likes civil engineering also, but want to acquire construction as also an aspect, you go for MS in civil engineering and combine it with construction management. So this could be a possibility for you. That is one way. Second is you're done with the core one and the traditional civil engineering, you don't want to go into that, then you can purely go into construction management. All civil engineering students who are there, you can go for civil engineering, construction management, you can go for project management, you can go for engineering management. These are all different courses which are available and valid for you, which still makes you stay in the engineering area, which would be the most maximum number of jobs would be there, and that will allow you to also have a business side of the engineering. Okay, so this is how electives of civil engineering work. You may take a snapshot for your future references. Okay. Now, what are the core subjects for construction? So, as I explained, you may go for a core civil engineering program or a construction management. Now, construction management is very, very focused on building systems, material, construction accounting and finance, planning and scheduling, inventory management, functions of construction, and construction technology. So, have you guys heard about BIM, building interface material? No, something that way. So BIM is a software which is like the most upcoming and the most updated software which construction companies abroad use. However, you would be surprised to know that in India there are very, very few big real estate companies which are using that. Now that's exactly how the industry is changing. So sorry, yeah, thank you guys. Building information modeling, thank you. There you go. So is saying this, these are a lot of things which is there, but BIM also has advanced. So there are a lot of softwares which have got upgraded, and there are much more updated information for you to cater. So that's exactly what you can go there. Construction technology, there are a lot of new technologies to learn upon, and that's exactly what the core subjects in construction would be. I love the audiences who quickly prompted me with that. Thank you so much. Means a lot. Sometimes we just jumble it up. So thank you for that. Then electives in construction. So now you go for construction management. What could be the specialization? You can go for project management. You could go for real estate. You could go for facility management. You could go for sustainability and green construction. You can go for finance management and supply chain and logistics. Okay. So these are different areas of construction management. When it comes to US, guys, it's a very, very huge country when it comes to construction infrastructure, and that's exactly why US is one of the biggest country where a lot of civil engineers and construction managers are placed, because they are very high on development. And as they are very high on development, there are huge projects and there is a huge requirement. Just before COVID, in fact, there were a lot of students who had multiple offers from the companies to get a job for the same thing. Okay, so in this case you can go on a YouTube channel also. I have my I have a student of mine who did construction management in US, and he shared his reviews, and he shared how he happened to get 3 to 4 multiple offers from company to actually get a job. In fact, he had so many choices, and he's spoken about the construction industry and a civil engineering industry out there, so you may understand it much more better when a student talks. So now coming to a lot of people who may ask me, what is the difference between civil versus construction? Am I right? So in this case, civil versus construction is something which a lot of student um, about both these areas. Okay, so in construction management, guys, coursework, project management is a necessary requirement, as well as risk management, construction law, accounting, cost estimation, and financial management. So typically construction management is more about handling a project. Okay, handling a project with the finance part, the accounting part, the construction estimation part, and all of those, inventory management. Whereas civil engineers may find their coursework heavy in classes such as sustainability, fluid mechanics, solid and hazardous waste materials, energy infrastructure, and others get towards architecture, statistics, and the environment. Civil engineering currently is all about environment, because environment is the most important part, and environment is something which is very, very difficult to, not do currently rightly. We all know that we are facing a lot of issues because our infrastructure, because of our development, we have caused enough damage to the environment. So the future of civil engineering is all about environmental and sustainability things. Okay, so this is how you can go for a master's in US and upgrade your skills, and wherever you are, you can be the best civil engineer. So professionally, civil engineers are generally involved in the design, and construction management in the implementation. So the civil engineers are going to design and make the entire concept about what is to be developed, and the construction managers are going to handle it and do more the day to day task. Okay, so this is how the concept of construction management comes in picture. Okay, so this is very, very important to understand. Now let's talk about, you have decided to go for US. What are the materials required to study in US? So typically GRE and TOEFL and IELTS are 2 exams which you need to take up. GRE is really, really important to take up because that elevates your number of universities, and it also gets you a good scholarship. So if your profile is to go to higher universities, you definitely have to crack a GRE, but it all depends on IELTS, PT, Duolingo, all any of these tests, we have to take a single test. Okay. Transcripts from the college, we require to write an SOP, a statement of purpose about what Abdul has done or what Avinash has done, how well they have done, what their story is, what they have studied, how their projects have been, why they're going for civil engineering, and that's how the story has to be written. At Education Street, we have editors for the same in our ES Prime package, which is our counseling package. And we also have editing services. We have 3 letter of recommendations which we need to write. Required when you're considering to go to US. Okay. Now coming to, how do I select universities? There are good 4,000 plus universities in US. That means there's huge confusion. But in this huge confusion, we all fall up and we start doing a research. And what do we see? We see a lot of people promoting and saying free university, good scholarship, application fee waiver, and this is exactly how the marketing plays its role. And the student forgets what he wants. The student completely forgets that he is going to US not to save few thousands here in India, but to earn lakhs of rupees when he is there in US. Now, this journey gets compromised because you fall in the marketing rules wherein you learn, okay, I am getting application fee waiver here. Okay, they are saying I'll get 20% scholarship here. And you forget to research and find out the good universities. And the counselors happily take you. They don't take any counseling fees. And they happily, even you're happy, even they are happy. And you go there and then you realize that you have come here. You're going to spend lakhs of rupees, but you definitely did not make a right choice. Now, this is the sad state of most of the students, because the counselors are doing their job. You are doing it wrong, because you go behind the free word, which is so attractive. But every time we have been taught there are no free lunches, but we are ready for that because we want to save the short-sighted money. So guys, there are good universities, but if you are someone who wants to make a good career out there, you need to work on your aggregate, you need to work on your GRE, you need to work on your extracurriculars and project and internship. I understand all of you don't have GRE. So in that case, take up a GRE. I understand you took GRE, but you still did not get good grades. But you still have an opportunity to get into a good university if you have a good counselor in picture. But you don't want to pay the counselor, so you will go to a free counselor, and eventually you're going to land up into a very compromised university because you chose that journey for yourself. So before you select your universities, you need to have a good helping hand. You may go to a lot of forums. There's Yocket, there is so many forums, but they are all there to market only, because Yocket is also trying to lure you for some university, or they are trying to lure you for some counseling that they want to offer you. And that's exactly how silent the marketing works. But we are here openly giving you information and telling you that we are paid counselors. Counseling students. So this is how we select universities. We select universities according to the profile: safe, moderate, and ambitious. I don't play as a recruiter to a university where I do have tie-ups, but I don't. In my entire slide, you would not see which university you should apply for, because I'm not promoting any university. Okay, I just want to work for you. Okay, so universities depend on your aggregate and GRE mainly, then IELTS and TOEFL, and then your extracurriculars. So if anything is compromised, you will definitely have to go to a compromised university, but there are always ways to get into a better university that only a good counselor can support you with. Okay, now how many universities do I apply for? So you can apply for 5 to 9 universities. The application fee ranges from $50 to $100. So assuming $75 is your application fee, 7 universities, $525 is what you have to pay. That is around 37,000 rupees. So this is a simple maths that is why it is very important to go and apply to universities, well-researched counselor. Now, a lot of you would read a lot of places. Here I'm getting a waiver, there I'm getting a waiver, there I'm getting a waiver. Just ask yourself once, guys, did you ever get anything for free? Did you ever get anything for free? There's nothing free. It is all at your cost. So you decide how and what you want to choose. Now let's talk about class hours. So the education system in US is definitely very different from what we have in India. So typically, to your surprise, you would know that there are only 3 subjects or 2 subjects that you take per semester. That means you have only per week around 4.5 to 6 hours class. Now that sounds like so much time, right? You feel like, oh wow, that's going to be very easy peasy. So all the classes that we have, like from morning 7 to 4, which we are occupied in the college, it's not going to be that way in the school, in the universities there, because they don't spoon feed you. But you have a lot of time to spend on your assignments and projects. And these assignments and projects you definitely cannot copy as you did in your engineering year in India. Unfortunately, there's plagiarism, there is concept of not copying, doing your own assignment. That means you have to spend a lot of time in your library, in your assignments, writing your own assignments and submitting them. So That's how your performance gets up and your GPA gets higher. So please, please, please do the same and get your assignments and projects done well, and be ready to spend a lot of time reading out there, because there's no one who's going to spoon feed you. Now, let me introduce all of you to a very important point, which is credit systems in US. Okay, so credit systems in US are very, very different than what we have in India, because we don't have them. Okay, in India, we have, say, 5 subjects. We perform well, they might be out of 100 or 10 CGPA, and our performance is matched according to how well we perform. So in US, that happens as well. So whatever and however we perform in that subject, we typically get a GPA which is out of 4. So you may say that is pretty much same. But there's one more thing to it. Okay. So when I'm going to US, I want a master's in civil engineering or a master's in construction management. To confer that degree name on you, they have a concept called as credits. So whenever you visit a US website, you see the MS in civil engineering program is of 32 credits or 36 credits or 40 credits. So basically, you have to finish those credits to get that degree. So every subject is related to a credit. So one subject may be related to 2 to 4 credits, okay, depending from university to university. For this example, it may be 3 credits. So suppose if the master's in civil engineering in XYZ university is of 30 credits, then only I get a master's. So I have to finish how many? 10 into 3 credits. So 10 subjects I have to finish to get those 30 credits to get that MS in civil engineering. So one is that I finish those 10 subjects. Second is, in those 10 subjects, I perform my best. So if I perform mediocre, I'll get a mediocre GPA like 2.5 or 2.4. But if I perform well, I would have a 3.5 plus. So that's how the performance is graded. So these are 2 things which you need to understand, that how the GPA system works. Okay. Your credits are also linked to the tuition fees. Try to find a tuition fee of a US university and you'll realize how difficult it is. So none of the universities will directly mention what is the cost of studying for XYZ course, because they have a table which says this department 1 credit is equal to $1,000. Example. So my course is of 30 credits. So 30 credits into $1,000 is what I have to do, which is $30,000, which is going to be my fees. So this is how the tuition fee is calculated. It's also an outcome of number of credits. So more number of credits required, more number of tuition fee required. So guys, please understand this, because that's exactly how you would understand what I'm trying to say before you go to US. Because US is very, very different than our education system. And as it is different, you are not aware, it becomes more confusion. But to avoid this confusion, Education State is taking this seminar, and you can see that this webinar is all about giving you the right directions to go towards and applying to US. Okay, so this is how the concept runs. Okay, now let me take you to the cost of education. As Indians, we are very sensitive to how much money we have to pay penny wise. And why not? Money doesn't come easy, and we have to be very calculative. So sit down and write all these things which I'm saying, because you may have to introduce that to your parents. A lot of time I see that parents are not aware, and hence they are not prepared. And at the end, a student is in a fix and a limbo, and they cannot go then. So that's why I say start early. All of you who are looking forward to go for September 22 intake, you need to apply and start applying from this November, October itself. Yes, the deadlines go further, but the sooner you apply, the better scholarships you will get. Okay. So the tuition fees range from 12 lakh to 18 lakh rupees a year. Okay, so saying this into 2, because it will be a 2-year program. Why does this fees vary so much? Firstly, because of the rankings. Higher the university, higher the fees. That's always been a norm. Private or public, you must have heard in US there are state universities and private universities. If I am someone who wants to keep count on the money that I spend, and I'm sensitive towards not spending over, I need to apply to state universities. But you will not apply to them because some of the counselors told you we are going to apply you free and they're all going to give you private universities. See, this is how your lakhs of rupees goes, but you don't realize. You realize by not paying the few thousands out here. This is why I say nothing comes free, guys. Go for a good counselor to get the best that you can make when you're going to a country like US, where you definitely have to make the right step. Okay, then your location. It is not necessary on the location that you have to go to city universities only, but yes, higher the university, higher the location, higher the fees. So like Boston, California, New York, they are definitely going to attract higher fees. Okay, so you can choose countryside universities where you may have a probability to get lesser fees on your living cost. Then your credit systems, which I just explained to you. Now coming to the living expenses. So living expenses range from 7 lakhs to 9 lakh rupees. So the earlier was your tuition fee, now is your living cost. So typically the living is rent, groceries, utility bills and ad hoc. So typically 45,000 to 65,000 rupees per month is what your expenditure is going to be. If you want to save a little bit on that, then the key is to share your accommodation, because that's the only way you can reduce. You cannot reduce on what you want to eat and your books and your travel and everything. So it's very, very important to make your parents aware of all these things. And the good part is, for the entire cost, which is typically going to be around 40 to 50 lakh rupees, you can get an entire educational loan. And we help you at Education Street to get your educational loans also sorted. Okay, so this is how things work at our end. So we help at every pain point. Now the living cost which we have, which is 7 to 9 lakh rupees, this you have an opportunity as an international student to work part-time and remove on your own. So US allows you to work 20 hours a week. First year you are allowed to work only off campus. Second year you are allowed to work off campus as well. Okay, so saying this, per week earning is going to be around $10 into 20, so $200. Per month earning is going to be around 200 into 4, so $800. A simple maths which just allows you and your parents to understand that you have some opportunity to remove your cost. And 800 into 12 months is $9,600, which is approximately 7 lakhs. I may say that you may not remove 7 lakhs. Probably you may remove little lesser than that, because immediately you may not get a part-time job. Even if you remove 4-5 lakh rupees, you're still sorted to reduce the cost which you see in the earlier slide, right? So the sticker price, as I say, may not completely be the cost that you're going to spend. Now let me calculate again and help you out that how you're going to return your money. So whatever 50 lakh rupees you're going to spend, you're going to recover that money within 2.5 years, or maximum 3 years. Look at the maths that I'm doing it for you. So the investment amount that you have is around $50,000. After that, the average salary is going to be around $70,000. Okay, so that's exactly what an engineer gets after the masters in US. The tax is going to be around 33%. So 2,300 I would minus, your income would become 46,900. So the expenses are, say, higher now. I'm giving more liberty to you because probably you're a working professional, you have a bigger house, you have a better lifestyle. So I'm comparing $2,000 per month into 12, so 24,000 per year. You may typically not spend so much, but I'm still giving you a lavish life. So your savings are going to be around 22,900. So this amount you're going to very easily remove within 2.5 years to 3.5 years. So all the parents or all the students who are worried that how they will finish or when will they finish their loan, this is how fast you're going to do. Okay, now let me have few salaries which you are going to take care when you are studying for your masters. So after your masters, these are typical range of designations that you would work as. You may be a construction engineer, $68,000, a transportation planner, $57,000, a structural engineer, $67,600, a quantity surveyor, around $6,500, a building control surveyor, around $56,000, a water resource engineer, $66,000, a geotechnical engineer around 66 at $200, and a quantity surveyor, which is again repeated, I'm sorry, which is around $60,500. Yeah. So this is how the range happens, which is around $65,000 plus. Now, this is something which I want to introduce you, all of you, that McKinsey, this is a report which I've pulled out from McKinsey. Now, McKinsey feels that the construction industry is the most and the least digitized sector. So, there is going to be a huge transformation here. And all of you who are going for civil or structural or engineering management or construction or project management, I would say this is where your industry is moving. First, higher definition surveying and geolocation. So there is going to be a new way to do a surveying and geolocation. Second, next generation 5D building, information modeling, design platform for the future. So that is going to be a 5D thing which is going to come, 5D building modeling. So the BIM, which I mentioned. So the BIM is going to be now 5D. So this is the new and the next generation thing which is going to happen in your industry. The third thing is digital collaboration and mobility, moving to paperless projects from the office to the workforce. So there's a lot of mismanagement which happens because of offices and stuff. So it's going to be all online and digitized. So that's how the engineering area is moving. The fourth, the IoT of things and advanced analytics. Analytics and IoT is not going to go anywhere. So all the intelligent asset management and decision making is going to happen with IoT and analytics. So this is where the industry is moving. And the fifth is future-proof design and construction, designing with materials and methods of future, as I said, environmental friendly. So this is how the industry is moving, guys. And you who are looking to go for construction management or civil engineering or structural engineering, please understand US offers all these courses which are future ready. Okay, so that's exactly what McKinsey has its report. You can Google about it or you can take a snapshot of this, because that's exactly what I want to bring out to your notice, that your industry is moving. If you stick to the core area, you may be outdated very soon. Okay, now again, there is also a lot of changes, which is basically again the same thing which I explained earlier. Cloud-based technology is going to be the future of construction management. So what is going to be the benefit of it? Accessibility across teams, no need to update data manually, enhanced collaboration, single data point source, enhanced security, and cloud-based scalability. So all which was currently happening in the offices or in the books, this is going to be complete change now. It's all going to be digitized. And are you ready for this digital world in your civil engineering and construction area, which is so core, so traditional, so functional at this point of time, but still very, very mechanical, right? So that's how industry is changing, and you have to change with a good degree which offers you the future trends, right? So now let me introduce you to a concept of OPT from US. OPT means optional practical training. So when you apply for an MS for US, you typically get a 5-year F1 visa. With this 5-year, you don't have entire 5 years. 2 year is your master's. Then you apply for 1 year OPT, which is basically 12 months only. And this 1 year is given to all the courses which are STEM or non-STEM. Both civil engineering, project management, construction management, structural engineering all fall under the concept called as STEM. So that means you have another OPT extension of 2 years. That means 3 years OPT is what you have. So this is the beauty of US, that with 2 years, you have 3 years of stay back option. And the maths which I did, so typically all of you who are worried whether we'll get the H1B or not or whatever, you have 3 years, guys, to remove your money out there. If in 3 years you cannot do it, I'm sorry, you are not good for that. Okay, so this is exactly how the OPT works. Okay, so coming to a closure and a very, very important point which we had to make. So US is a land of opportunities. And definitely if you're looking for, you have to work well and you have to start early. Now, if you have taken a point and a decision of attending this webinar, which means I am assuming that you guys are serious about going to US. The poll says that there are around 54% who wants a counselor. Education Street would be more than happy to suggest and help you out, guys, because that's exactly what we want to do. There are 26% who have said no, I'm not sure, but all the best. And there are 19% who have said on my own. I just want to ask you guys, when you say on my own, are you going to rely on something wherein there are free universities or free tie-ups, or it's going to be a wrong decision of applying to a wrong university? Give us a chance. Give us an opportunity, and we will prove to you that you did the best decision to apply, because we are not counselors who just say things and not deliver. You can go on Education Street, Google, and you can review us about our reviews as well. We have almost 140 plus reviews from our students, and all of them have something to tell you. So you may go and understand why it is important to get a good counselor. In case if you look for multi-country counseling, like you want to apply for UK also, or Ireland, or Singapore, or Canada, or France, or Netherlands, we are good to support you for those countries as well. So we have multi-country counseling. So if you're looking for multi-country counseling, we are more than happy to support you and guide you for the same thing. So this is bringing me to the end. So this is just a message to all of you that end of education is character. That means please do not just quantify your degree by a job or a kind of role or a challenging salary that you're getting. Invest in yourself and see the difference. Build your character and see the confidence. See how everything in life seems very streamlined because you have gathered yourself, and you are the biggest asset for yourself. So this is what I would say, that the end of education is character.